got a lot to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Oh, and you can also go and buy my new book. There's always a book, right? But yeah, this is my new science fiction fantasy novel, The Bounty, Book 1 of my new series, Cosmic Road. Links below. It's about a bounty hunter in the far future in a big, crazy adventure with mystical undertones. I think you're going to have a good time with it if you are a science fiction or fantasy fan. Again, links below. Okay, start with, we've got breaking. Firefly's blue ghost lander captured its first sunrise on the moon. And that is just a gorgeous shot. Love it. All right. Yeah, we got lots going on. From Scott Waring, who runs UFO Sightings Daily, U.S. president's security military jets encounter UFOs over the U.S. president's golf course. Talking about the mystery drones over the president's golf course. March 1st, 2025. Notice they don't call them drones. They call them UAP. This is the President's Combat Air Patrol at Mar-a-Lago with an Ohio National Guard F-16 encountering unidentified aerial phenomena in their area. NORAD on that frequency instructed to stay away from them. So yeah, really interesting. UFOs over the president's golf course. This is crazy. And this, according to this is very recent. This just happened a couple days ago, March 1st. Seeing UAP over Trump's golf course at Mar-a-Lago. That's crazy. Of course, I have to correct Scott just a little bit. We're talking about FAA-approved vehicles, I'm sure. So, yeah, really, really interesting. Meanwhile, what does Eric Burleson have to say about a potential new UAP hearing?
25, a realistic year where there would be a third UAP hearing? Or is this...
I think yes, we will probably have a hearing. I mean, it's very, very likely that we will have a hearing. And if you've got... I would love to do a series of hearings, but ultimately my end goal is to get some of these individuals that we've identified that still work for the federal government or still, were part of these programs to have to come forward and under oath, tell us what was going on. I think that's the end goal, but there's no reason why we shouldn't have a series of hearings. And for some people, we don't necessarily need to have an official hearing. We could have field hearings, or like a member hearing. That way we can move a lot faster and have more regular meetings. Now under a member meeting or a field hearing, people are not under oath, but it doesn't mean that we can't try to get at least some information.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to have a field hearing in front of Lockheed Martin or Boeing or Northrop Grumman or any of these other places that have this technology. Of course, it would hold a lot more weight if these guys were under oath, etc. But hell, I mean, knock on Lockheed Martin's door, have some subpoenas, get in there and show us a freaking UFO, right? I also love the idea of them having a series of hearings. I told Steve Bassett when we had our interview, our first interview, that, I love the idea of having a gangbusters UAP hearing in Congress with, 40 or 60 whistleblowers coming forward all at once. But at the same time, it might have more impact if you just have 3 or 4 whistleblowers at a hearing per month. And this went on for a year. Just imagine the year-long press that would get, and the media and individuals could dive into each experience and each, vein of information and research it as much as they could, really digging in deep on all of that to give, the full accounting of each individual, give them each their due. I think it would be overwhelming, and it would just be a one-hit wonder if it was a big UFO hearing with all of those whistleblowers. It would be a big news cycle for a few weeks, and then it might peter out. But keep it going for a whole year with a series of hearings would be amazing. Anyway, I don't know if that's what Eric is talking about or not, but I sure hope we get it. Meanwhile, Joseph McGonigal, a famous remote viewer on Jesse Michaels, talking about alien structures or some structures on Mars. Of course, Joseph is famous for having remote viewed Mars for the CIA and having seen some stuff in the present, but also in the past, where he was seeing these giant beings a million years ago in this dying civilization. Well, he says, guess what? There's still artifacts on Mars. He says this is an actual bone on Mars. I can't play the audio because there is music playing in the background. But yeah, he says that is a bone, which would be amazing if we could confirm that. I mean, it certainly looks like a bone. I can see the argument for that just being a weird rock or something. So let me know if you think that is a weird rock, or if that's proof that there were beings on Mars. And this is he's saying these are structures, and these are taken by a satellite. I'm not sure if that's really conclusive evidence of a structure. But he is also saying that this ridge that overlooks a chasm is a straight line and it goes on for like 30 miles or something. And he says that's completely unnatural that it could be that straight. And that is definitely proof, he says, of non-human activity on Mars. Well, I think the evidence is pretty good. Some funky stuff has been happening on Mars all these many years. He says that the activity is actually still ongoing. And he points to this chasm where he says there's these weird structures here, all these wires and stuff. And he says when they first saw this chasm, there was a red light in this chasm, as if there was still power, there was still some functioning installation or something down deep under the surface of Mars. And, maybe they were coming and going through this chasm. So wild stuff, guys. Wild stuff. Yeah, I think Mars is a place where we can find the answers to a lot of stuff. I really do. If they don't cover it up, which I'm sure they will, but they haven't covered up all of it because these pictures still exist. Look at this crazy artifact. He says this is like a 3-foot long artifact with buttons and stuff on it. Is this legit? Is this again just a crazy rock formation? Or is this proof that there was, maybe still be, life on Mars? Jesse Michaels has a long post about Joseph McGonigal. He says, key revelations from Joseph. Military-grade remote viewing. Over 200 verified remote viewing sessions provided crucial intelligence from the late 1970s through the early 1980s. His work, Joseph's, in identifying hidden Soviet submarine construction sites and military facilities led to major breakthroughs in U.S. defense strategy. In 1979, his session revealed an unknown Soviet sub with slanted missile tubes, later confirmed by satellite imagery. Yeah, if remote viewing is legit, and you can confirm this stuff. Unusual structures on Mars. McGonigal was tasked by the Department of Defense to remote view Mars at 1 million BC. He described massive pyramidal structures, collapsed fortifications, and signs of a lost civilization. The case for life on Mars. McGonigal's claims align with a growing body of scientific evidence suggesting Mars may have supported life. The 1996 ALH 84001 meteorite contained possible fossilized bacteria, prompting President Clinton's public statement about potential Martian life. Mars's atmosphere contains xenon-129 and argon-40, which plasma physicist John Brandenburg argues are signatures of nuclear cataclysm, potential evidence of a large-scale ancient war. And yeah, I said it again, guys, nuclear. This is as close as I can get, guys. I'm a Texan. Deal with it. 4. Evolutionary roots of psychic insight. McGonigal believes remote viewing is an evolutionary ability that was once crucial for human survival. Before spoken language, early humans relied on telepathic perception to track predators, coordinate hunts, and sense threats, just as animals do today. Over time, this innate skill atrophied, but it remains latent within the human mind. I have a different take on that, but, very interesting. 5. Refined Stargate protocols. Joseph McGonigal helped refine strict double-blind protocols for remote viewing. Yeah, he was one of the OG remote viewers who helped build all this stuff. So yeah, Joseph McGonigal, an amazing guy who did some amazing stuff, paving the way for where we are now with remote viewing. And yeah, the Mars stuff is really incredible, and I tend to believe it. But of course, that raises so many questions. If there were tall beings on Mars a million years ago who built pyramids, where did those beings go? Did they just die off? Did their pyramids have anything to do with our pyramids? Let me know what you guys think. Meanwhile, Danny Sheehan describes the first time that Lue Elizondo met with the Inspector General.
With UFOs. And when we went to see the Inspector General next door to the Pentagon, we go in and the Inspector General and his couple of guys on his staff were completely prepared to be really hostile and antagonistic. But as soon as Lou started sharing with them the kind of detail that he had and the specific information, all of a sudden, their eyes got, might I say, big as saucers. Anyway, they completely freaked out. And all of a sudden, they started running out of the room and going and getting other people to come into the meeting who had the adequate clearances, in military officers with full uniform and all of their medals, and coming, sitting, kind of leaning forward into the information. And Lou persuaded the Inspector General that this was true and that they were being lied to as well. And so that began this entire kind of new era of disclosure.
So yeah, that's how we got where we are today. All began with that meeting and Lou convincing them that he was on the level. Meanwhile, Forgotten History says the ancients had an obsession with creating stone circles as they are found all around the world. Yeah, look at this stuff. Yeah, apparently there's a Neanderthal stone circle, which is interesting. But of course, there's Stonehenge and Denmark and Gambia and Malta, Bulgaria, Poland. And the stone circles in Africa are really interesting as well. So what does all this mean? Does this hint at some sort of shared culture or understanding? Let me know what you guys think in the culture in the comments below. And the culture below, why not? The comments are our culture, right? But yeah, my own personal opinion is the evidence is pretty overwhelming. There was something that united cultures around the world, whether that was NHI or something like Atlantis or both. Who knows? But I think it's probably both. But let me know what you guys think. And what do you think about the stone circles? Yeah, here's the South African stone circles, which is really interesting. And of course, if we were interacting with NHI back in the day, and of course we were, just look at the Nazca mummies. We've got bodies, y'all. We've got bodies of non-humans, or at the very least, human-alien hybrids of some sort. Is that what the giants were? Who knows, guys? But yeah, in ancient scriptures, they talk about non-humans. Jason Wilde is talking about the Nagas, these beings that show up in the Hindu texts, these reptilian beings, these serpent people. Check these depictions of the Nagas out. Wild stuff, guys. Are these the reptilians that people are seeing today? I don't know, but one quote from one of these passages seems to indicate that the Nagas expect to be around after we are gone. Takshaka, the Naga lord, whispered to the wandering sage, "Mankind believes the world is theirs alone, but they forget. We too have walked this land long before them, and we shall remain long after they are gone." Okay, well, that's really encouraging, Naga Lord. What do you think? Were the Nagas the reptilians? Is that what they call themselves, or is that a possible way to refer to the reptilians, or maybe just one branch of the reptilians? Fascinating stuff. And of course, if people are interacting with them today, it makes perfect sense for them to be interacting with the Nagas or the reptilians thousands, tens of thousands, 100,000 years ago. How long have these beings been here? Have they been here for millions of years? Could they have evolved from the dinosaurs? Did they come from another planet? Or are we dealing with ultra-terrestrials, other dimensionals, or simply extraterrestrials? Fascinating stuff, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts. Meanwhile, Stephen Greer is bringing forward a new whistleblower, or at least a witness. This is a commercial airline pilot who is now coming forward describing some of his experiences.
Would be an orb appearing in front of me that not too far, that would seem that it would be another airplane, let's say, about the same altitude, bright, quite large, larger than it would be an airplane that would have its landing lights on. Because up at altitude, with the landing lights on, it could appear like an UFO, but this would be larger than that, and I'd be observing it. This particular one, looked at the co-pilot, and he's seen the same thing. In this particular case, I was about to ask Air Traffic Control LA Center at the time if there was a plane or something in front of us, and then it didn't materialize right in front of our eyes, changed colors like in the blink of an eye, and then disappeared.
Great sighting, and I'm so encouraged that commercial pilots are starting to come forward. I hope this is one of many that come forward describing their experiences, that we've entered a new era where people can be more open and honest about this stuff. And by the way, this is not his only experience or his only sighting. So yeah, go check out the full interview, and I'll link to it below. But great stuff, and kudos to Stephen Greer for bringing him forward. Meanwhile, what do you think about this possible Bigfoot sighting from Pure Breakdown? Look at this. Is this a Bigfoot? Or is this just a goofy guy in a hoax clip? Looks like he's kind of jogging around, loping around. Is that how a Bigfoot moves? To me, that doesn't look like how a Bigfoot would move. Looks like a guy in a suit or something. So I'm inclined to think this is probably not really a Bigfoot, but hell, I've never seen a Bigfoot run. Maybe that's how they run. I like the long arms. That looks kind of, possibly legit. But again, it could be a guy in a suit. So yeah, let me know if you think that's a possible Bigfoot sighting. Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below, especially what you think about this amazing workout routine. This is going to be my new workout routine from now on. Got to give me a bear, though. Got to give me a bear. Let me know what you think about this amazing routine and everything else in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Smash the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road, go buy the book one of my new novel, The Bounty, book one of my Cosmic Road series. Become a channel member, buy a t-shirt in the merch store below, and there's plenty of other videos on the channel. See you next time, guys. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.